Large-scale projects of photovoltaic power generation are being put on the production line, and this included the Portuguese Alqueva Reservoir, one of the most mega-floating solar projects ever in Europe. So how does this mega-floating project power entire Europe, and how is it beneficial? What potential it holds, and how will it reshape Europe? Are you curious about it? Then this video is for you, as today we are showing you all about this mega-floating project. So keep watching this video until the end, and make sure to subscribe for more such videos like this. Here we begin. Let's first talk about planning. So this project is being constructed by the energy supplier Energias de Portugal, and this mega project is planned to operate in July. And let me tell you first that this planning was done to cut down its reliance on fossil fuels, whose prices have surged due to the war in Ukraine. You are all aware of it, right? And you will be surprised to know that a second floating solar park is also planned and is in development. So what does this project consist of? Do you want to know about it? Keep watching as soon as you get to know. Well, the photovoltaic network in southeast Portugal comprises 12,000 solar panels and covers a large area with more than 4 football fields. Now, talking about its output, it is around 4 megawatts. Can you believe it? Well, you will find that in the full undertaking, it is anticipated that it will generate around 7 gigawatt hours per year. And let me tell you guys that this much is enough for around 1,500 households in the nation. Moreover, the lithium-ion battery that it utilizes can store 2 gigawatt hours of energy. In summary from last year, EDP indicated that the expenses for these megasystems are 4 million euros. Well, the astonishing fact that I will share with you all is that the solar panels we are talking about are a fraction of the Alqueva power plant, one of the biggest hydroelectric power plants in Portugal. And as a result, EDP has strategies to broaden the Alqueva endeavor. Why not, right? This is one of the largest power plants, and its benefits surely amaze the crowd. Moving forward, in April, the corporation obtained the right to construct a second floating solar farm, which we mentioned earlier, with an installed potential of 70 megawatts, as the report said. Now, if that happens, this would be around 18 times bigger than the prevailing capacity, and let me inform you all that its construction is planned to start in 2025. Do you know what EDP aims to do? EDP's objective is to obtain 100% of its power from renewable resources by 2023. Isn't it great? Utilizing renewable resources is what the world should do. Now, let's go into the history of these floating solar parks. So let me first clarify that floating solar parks are not a modern innovation. These floating solar parks are generally established on steady backwaters. At the same time, it deters the water from disappearing. Now you will find that in Singapore, a strategy which is of the size of 45 football areas was scheduled, which was unlocked in 2021. And this project could only produce a maximum outcome of 60 megawatts. Do you think it was the only project? No! There were many. Let's cover those too. There was a Dutch startup which was named SolarDuck. Furthermore, this startup operates on solar farms established near the shore. One interesting fact about it is that it can resist waves of up to 3 meters. So the very first power plant is scheduled to be established on the Belgian coast. Now let me ask you a question. According to you, how can the floating photovoltaic network in Portugal be compared to onshore photovoltaic networks? Do you have any ideas? Well, if you don't, then also it's fine, because I have also covered that. Let's explain this to you all. So in Austria, you will find that the biggest photovoltaic at Vienna Airport is planned to start working soon. The beginning of this 24 megawatt network, which covers 24 hectares, about 34 football fields, was intended for spring. Still, Günther Offner, who is CEO of Flughafen Wien AG, was specific in a press release at the outset of March that trusting was coming. This power plant will then produce around 30 gigawatt hours of electricity per year. That is a good 4 times the current Alqueva system, but less than half of the planned solar farm. As I already mentioned, the Alqueva project combines renewable energies. However, it is a promising idea to utilize adequate regions for photovoltaic energy, particularly in nations with high solar energy capacity. So for the energy transition, still not just solar power must be improved, but a blend of renewable powers must be utilized. And for this reason, the Alqueva project in Portugal establishes a positive representation of hydro and solar power. Now coming back to its location, Portugal has agreed to take benefits of its southern coast area, which consents to a substantial store of sunshine and winds throughout the year. This is mostly planned to drastically boost its energy from these renewable resources. Now, you will see that the EDP is furthermore enthusiastic about the notion of going 100% green by 2030. Presently, 78% of the corporation's energy production arrives from renewable resources, and that is primarily hydropower. Do you know what its benefits are? Now let's talk about its advantages. First, you will find that the floating panels do not need precious real estate. Those on reservoirs utilized for hydropower are especially cost-effective as they can hook up to prevailing connections to the power grid. In simple language, we can say that these floating panels are cost-effective. Furthermore, excess power produced on sunny days can pump water into the pool, which can be stocked for civilization on cloudy days or at night. These floating panels on the Alcava reservoir are now used to produce hydropower. Let me inform you again that this mega project can generate 7.5 gigawatt-hours of electricity per year. So this would be filled out by lithium batteries, and it can store 2 gigawatt-hours. Now, it is classified that 1,500 households dwelling in the nearby towns of Portal and Mura will be apt to relish the floating farm's power supply. Now, are you all aware that solar panels which were mounted on pontoons on lakes or at sea have been established in a span of areas from California to contaminated industrial ponds in China in a battle to reduce CO2 emissions? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's see what EDP Executive Board member Ana Paula Marquez said about it. The war in Ukraine showed the need to accelerate the shift to renewable resources. She furthermore said the Alcava project was a fraction of EDP's policy to go 100% green by 2030, with all renewable resources and hydropower presently accounting for 78% of EDP's 25.6 gigawatts of established power. In 2017, you will find that EDP established a pilot floating solar project with around 840 panels on the Alto Rabagao Dam, which was the first in Europe to assess how hydro and solar power could fill out each other. Furthermore, this year, EDP already planned to enhance the Alcava Megaproject. So now, we can say that this megaproject will certainly boost the economy of the nation in such a way that it will have the least effect on the environment. And we can't even forget its gigantic power generation, which will be possible by utilizing renewable resources. Though the project is under production, it will offer higher incentives to the business willing to invest in the plant. The move will also boost the renewable energy capacity, making Europe one of the popular nations with the massive solar plant. So, that's all for today. What do you think about this floating solar project? Do you think this unique idea will reshape Europe and benefit it in the best way possible? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe and smash the bell icon to get more uploads like this. Until we meet again, take care